Yeah.
Okay. So
You just
what is,
share it with me.
yeah, I will share it. So what is system.dml or system dot limit exception? 101. Can you tell me what is this?
No, I don't.
Okay, so the
Yes.
governor limit of maximum number of
Mm,
SQL queries in a transaction
okay.
is 100. All right.
Yes. Yes.
So if you go beyond that, beyond the number, then you should get this error. And what are the cases in where we should get this error? Let's say in a for loop, if you write some SQL query, then it
Mm,
will throw this kind of error. All right.
okay. Okay.
So I believe you know, right? The best practices of writing codes that we should avoid the SQL queries inside a for loop, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So that is the reason behind it.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's say we have a code like this. Or maybe just write it down here.
Yes.
Inside the for loop, we are writing count SSA list. Okay, so Visakha, you are from a technical background, right?
Yes. But
Okay,
I'm presently working on testing.
okay, nice. From logic. So here, tell me, will it execute without error, or we should expecting some error? Can you tell me this?
Yes. Just a second.
Yeah.
Uh, there is an error in the first line. We have to write list account list, and then we have to write something here before select ID. One from account.
What kind of error we get here? Can you tell me?
Or account ACC. Na? ACC is not defined anywhere.
ACC is defined. It's a for loop variable, right?
Okay, okay, okay. Yes, yes. Account ACC. Mm. For each account ACC.
Okay, so
Uh,
you are not going in the correct track. So there is a
okay.
governor limit, right? And the governor
Yes.
limit is there can be maximum of records we can retrieve
Mm.
in a SQL query is 10,000, correct?
Yes.
So if the number of retrieved records is more than 10,000, then we
Okay.
should have a error here.
Okay. Okay.
All right. So
Yes.
this is a system.limit exception 10,001.
Yes. Okay.
Okay. So got it, right?
Yes, yes.
Let's say we have this.
Actually, this is the problem. Even if I know all these things now,
Hmm.
that I don't know that like how to answer and what to answer at that particular question. Means I know all these things, right? Governor limits, I know what
Yeah,
is the
but
each
you need
limit.
to, yeah, whatever you know, you need to apply in your answers, right?
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, I know that. That's why that's I'm not. Look, that's not happening actually.
It will happen if you learn more, actually. Just practice
Yeah,
more,
yeah.
it will happen. Okay, let's say, let's take this scenario. So now tell me, we are getting an error, not?
We will get the error because we are not defined the
No, no,
limit.
no. Can you tell me, you are from technical background, right? So you know Java. So can you tell me,
Ye-
is it a compile time error or runtime error? In this case, whatever
Runtime
it is
error.
there, compile time or
Runtime
runtime?
error.
No, it's a compile time error.
Very-
All right. It's a compile time error.
But
Whenever your
okay,
code is being compiled, the exception is thrown. All right.
okay,
So
okay,
here in this particular case, it is the for loop is fetching the records. We are retrieving the records inside the for loop definition. All right, which is a runtime. It is a runtime run of the SQL query. All right.
okay.
So it will not throw any
Yes.
error, and it can retrieve n number of records.
Okay, but what if the records are above governor limits?
It will not throw any error because it is runtime. The governor limit acts only for compile time, not for runtime.
Okay, okay.
All right. Yeah. So let's say we have a scenario. Let's say trigger some trigger on account. It is before insert. Let's say before
Okay.
insert. Okay. So here our thing is you should perform some logic here. Perform any logic. And
Hmm.
then in the final statement, we are writing insert new account. Name is equal to ABC. All right. So this is our scenario. So first tell me, the code will execute well, or it should have some error.
Mm, just a second. Just a second.
Yeah.
We are giving the name here
Mm.
on account before insert. So no, this will not because it's before insert and
Mm.
we are performing the insert operation.
Yeah. So what?
So this will this code will get executed before insert now,
Hmm. Yeah. Before
and
insert,
we
we
are
are inserting another account. That's okay, right?
okay, okay,
Yeah. So before it, just before inserting one account, we're just inserting another account in that before insert trigger. So
okay.
that's okay. Then will it get
Mm,
error or not?
will not. But insert new account. I don't. We are providing the new. Oh,
Yeah.
logic and
Okay.
but
See, whenever this statement DML is executed, it will again call the before insert trigger because it is an insert statement, right?
Yes.
So it will
Yes.
again call the before insert trigger again. So again the insert
Okay.
statement will run. It will again call the before insert. All
Yes.
right.
It will get recursive.
Right. So it will get a recursive error.
And we can solve it using Boolean statement.
Hmm. That but yeah, but this is going to happen. All right.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So this is a trigger recursion, and we can
Okay.
eliminate the error using static variable, right?
Static variable. Yeah.
Using Boolean static variable. All right. Let's say you have written a batch class, all right, and you want to test the batch class. So how are you gonna test the batch class?
Okay. With the help of batch class. Means I have to tell the whole process or like what?
No, there is a key thing that is need to be
At
done.
the rate is test
That's okay.
will
That is for
then
every test class, right?
yeah, and then we will use means I don't know it's correct or not, but we will use start test and stop test
Why?
because test means these helps us to uh, like provide the governor section.
Okay, can we use that same thing? Start test dot stop test. I mean, it is necessary to use it for the trigger test or any normal Apex class test. Is it mandatory?
It's not mandatory, but
Or
in batch we use it because like before executing the stop like everything should get
hmm,
all like the batch already should get executed like the rest of the batch. That's why we use it, and these are used for like governor limits now provide governor limits to the uh,
okay. So
yeah
if you are testing a future method, then can you use this? I mean, is it mandatory to use?
for future method
Mhm.
uh I yes it's mandatory to use.
Are you sure? I mean, just don't guess.
No, I'm not sure.
For every asynchronous Apex class, we have to use state test or start and stop because we do not know when the Apex class will complete, right? And we do not know when
Okay.
it will send us the result because it will run on its own thread, right? So to get the
Okay,
result
okay,
on time, we have to use the start and stop because in between that time, you have to get the result.
okay,
All right. Yeah.
okay. And why do we use DML like in future method? Like
Mhm.
we have two types, right? For the external API, external web services, we
Hmm.
use future method, and with the help of trigger, we can call the future method. And we have
1 minute,
mixed DML
1 minute,
operation.
1 minute, 1 minute. You cannot call a future method from trigger. All right.
Can
No, the future method cannot be called from anywhere.
okay.
Where did you get it? I mean,
Then
it's a wrong concept. You cannot call a future method from a trigger. You can call a batch, you can call a QL, but you cannot call a future from a trigger. All right.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay. Let's have something
But
here. Yeah. Tell
my
me.
question, one second, my question was, कि, then when do we use mixed DML exception?
Okay. I
Just a
am
second.
coming to that. I'm coming to that. Let's take this. Okay. Some class. Okay. So can you tell me whether this code block will execute fine or it will have some error?
It will have some error because account is a standard uh, is a standard it's standard. A user is related to config setup object, and account is a uh, standard object.
Okay, so what will happen here?
Um, there will be a means we are updating the user object. We are updating the user object as well as we are updating the account
Hmm.
object. So there will be a mixed TML exception.
Okay, so
So
how
yeah,
we can achieve, I mean, eliminate this kind of exception?
this by using future method
Correct.
and yeah,
That's it.
okay, okay. But then what will it do?
What will it do means?
Means like it will segregate it, or what means if we don't
Okay,
have that future
see,
method, they are
so
yeah.
if you don't have the future method, the Salesforce cannot update both objects like you told, setup and non-setup. Salesforce cannot do it in the same time if you do not use the future. But if you use the future, both the object update can be done at the same time.
Okay, okay,
All right. And why it
yeah,
is so? Salesforce only knows it because it's their architecture, right?
okay, okay.
Yeah. All right. So next, okay. Let's say we have a batch class, right? And that batch class is processing 10,000 records. Okay. And the batch size is
Okay.
2000. So how many times each method of the batch class is called?
The start and finish will be called once, and the
Hmm.
execute will be called 5 times because we are having a batch of 2000.
Okay. So start and finish one time. Why? Can you tell me why?
Um, because we will start like in my we will start and will finish it only once now, and the number of batches will execute in the how many the numbers of in number of records, the number of records. So we'll have to execute multiple times.
Okay. So can you tell me what does start method returns? What type? What is the return type of start method?
What is the return type of start
Start
method?
method. Yeah.
It will return null.
Return type.
Uh,
I told return
oh,
type.
sorry. Oh,
Okay.
uh,
Return
uh,
type of, you haven't faced this question. I mean, in every interview they will ask you write the syntax of batch class.
no, actually, in
Okay.
Accenture, they asked me, and whatever I said, they said okay.
Okay.
So,
Whatever. All right. So start is basically database dot query locator. All right.
okay, okay, okay. You're asking me this. Sorry.
This is the
Yeah, I
return type.
actually they asked. Yeah, yeah, yeah. They asked me this question, and means like what is batch class, and I explained all the things like we have a database like
Hmm.
locator, and then we'll execute, and we'll have a list as a input, and we'll pass
Yeah,
the
yeah,
list,
got it.
and then
All right, all right, no issue. So can you tell me what is the return type of execute and finish?
execute and finish. Huh?
Hmm. It's void.
Void.
Yeah, yeah, correct.
Yeah.
All right. So let's say we are processing more than 20,000 opportunity records in a batch. All right. Let's say
Okay.
we're inserting and there is a field called amount in opportunity. So whenever all the batch ends, we need to
Hmm.
store the sum of the amount of all the opportunities. All
Okay.
right. So how can we do that?
Okay. Um,
Think about it.
we have to add the sum. Um, Calling another batch or
Okay. So there is an
okay.
interface called database dot
o-
stateful. All right.
Okay.
So if you
Okay.
implement that and make some variable and add some variable, so then it will
Okay.
be saving the state.
Okay. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
You can find the same thing in my sets as well. In my set, it
Yes. Yes.
is yeah,
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's a common question.
Okay.
Can you how can we call a batch class from another batch class?
Batch class from another batch class. Uh, with the help of batch class.
Okay.
Exactly. I don't know.
Okay.
I have to
So
put that.
there are two ways. One way is you can call a child batch from parent batch from the finish
Okay.
method of the parent batch. All right. This is number one. And the problem with this approach is whenever the parent will complete, then only the child will run. After the parent finish, then only the child will run.
Uh,
All right.
uh-huh.
But if we
And
want,
another is
yeah,
yeah.
tell me.
Another is we will create a queuable class and inside the
Yeah.
queuable
So
class.
what? Why exactly we do that? We can call it from the finish, right? So why exactly we create a queuable and call that child from that? Okay. See, if the situation is the child should be invoked by parent in such a way
Mm.
that they should run simultaneously. All
Okay.
right. So that is why we will call the child batch from the execute method of a queuable apex, and then we will call the queuable from the start method or execute method of the parent batch.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So it is also present in my set. You can check it. All right.
Okay.
So
Yes.
okay. Can you tell me the best practices we follow in triggers?
Triggers. Okay. In triggers, we should have a single trigger per object. Then
Mhm.
um, we should have a handler class
Okay. And why we
and
use the handler class? Why it is there? I mean, what exactly we do in handler class?
in handler class we use the trigger interface
Mhm.
means
See, yeah, that okay. That's okay. If you if you make an interface and call it in the handler, that's okay. But the handler is basically to implement the logic of the trigger, and you should not
yes,
write
yes,
the logic inside the trigger itself. Just call an handler
yeah.
class. Either you can use an interface, that's okay. That's up to you. You can use it or you cannot use it. That's up to you. But if you use it, then it is better to maintain everything. All right. So that way.
Yeah.
And let's say if you want to limit the number of methods in the handler class. Okay. So
Yes,
in
yes,
that case, you can use the interface because you have to implement the interface and only those methods you can edit or you can implement.
Okay. Okay.
All right. Okay. All right. So now tell me, can
And
we, yeah, tell
can
me.
can you ask me a question on like any question on map,
Map.
any coding? Yeah,
All
he
right. So,
confused me a lot of
okay.
questions about old map and new map values.
Okay. Okay.
So
Let's say
that yeah.
we are updating something in account object. All right.
Yes.
So let's say whenever the field value is updated inside an account object, we
Yes.
should perform some action. All right.
Yes.
Think carefully. It is not that we update the entire object, entire record, but
Hmm.
whenever the only one field is being updated, we have to take some
Hmm.
action, and that should be implemented by trigger. All right.
Hmm.
So how can we do
Hmm.
that?
Only one field. Uh, we can use update and pass the list and the map.
Okay.
Old.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I'm
correct.
not.
Yeah, that's correct. You are going in the right way, but you need to tell me how can we do that. Maybe someone will ask you to write that.
Uh, yes. Um, and see, we will pass the list, that old list and new list, and then about the logic, I'm not sure. Means, like, how will I write? Okay. I will use put dot then IDs and the object
You don't need
value
to,
something.
you don't need to put that. So just listen carefully. So first what you do, you just make a for. Okay. So inside the for, that should be trigger.new, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So here what we check is if the field value is updated or not. So how can we check a field's value is being updated or not? If the previous value is not equals to the current value, correct?
Hmm.
So that we need to check. So how can we check this? So let's say phone number we are updating. So phone,
Hmm.
that should not be equal to trigger dot old map dot get acc dot id dot phone. Now I got it.
Okay. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So from old map, we are just getting the previous values, and in the new, we are having the new values. We just check if it is not equal, which means the field is already updated,
Yeah.
right? And then we can perform
Yeah.
some action, correct?
Yeah. Like update and yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I think they asked me the same question.
All right.
This type of question. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah. So can you use the trigger dot new set for before delete?
Trigger dot new before delete.
Yeah.
Just a second. Delete. Mm, no, we means for a particular record means other object. Just a second. If we delete, then we will get the new values, right? So,
No, no, no. It's not like that. So what does the trigger dot new values hold? Can you tell me that? What exactly trigger dot new holds? And what
the
exactly
latest
trigger dot,
value.
yeah, exactly. The latest means whatever we are trying to insert. So that
Yes.
values will be stored in the trigger dot new.
Okay. So
All right.
delete will not count.
So now tell me for delete, before delete. So trigger
Yes.
dot old is applicable or trigger dot new is applicable?
Old is applicable.
Because we are not inserting any value or we are not updating any value. So we do not
Updating.
have a new
Yes.
set of values, right? So that is why
Yes.
we will have the trigger dot old map only.
Yes.
Okay. So it's clear to you, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. All right. So let's say we are inserting some, okay. Let's say we are inserting some account object account record, and we have some after insert trigger written in account. All
Okay.
right.
Okay. Okay.
And in the after insert trigger, we are updating some account field, and again we are updating it.
After insert, we are updating, and again we are updating it.
Correct. Okay,
Okay.
let's make some code. All right. Let's say we have this. And inside this, let's say we are making as acc dot um, country code, let's say. Let's say some value.
Hmm.
And finally, let's say we have, can you hear me?
Yes. Yes.
All right. You can see, right? Hello.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
All right. All right.
Hello.
Then.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right. So now what will happen? We will just create a list of account here.
Hmm.
Okay. So let's say we have this scenario. All right. So can you
Hmm.
tell me what exactly will happen? Or I mean, whatever action we are intended to do, so it will
Okay.
execute that way, or it should have some error?
Okay. Just a second. So we are a list. Then for trigger dot new. I'm not able to. Yeah. So for trigger dot new, it's for each account. We will first check that it's whether it's an old value or not, and if it is a old value, then we will change the country code to 91, and
Okay.
we'll add the account. Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah. Yeah. Tell me.
Okay. And acc dot country code, yeah, 91, and then account list add, we will add the acc means account.
Correct.
And out of that, if account list means if the account list exists, update the account list. I think this update, it's out of
Okay,
the box.
Vishaka. So I think I have. Okay, you can hear me, right?
Yeah, yeah,
All right. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Tell
yeah.
me. Yeah. Tell me.
Update account list now. Yeah, this will execute, but it means like if account list. Now, if we are getting the account list, update the account list.
Hmm.
But then we are updating it here.
So will it work like that?
I think I don't think it will work. it should be in the for to do the- yeah, it should
Error,
be in the for.
the error will be coming
Yeah.
as field is okay. So field is read only. This will be the error
Okay.
because whenever a record is saved, we cannot edit the record just after saving the record in the database. All right.
Yeah. 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 Okay. Got it.
So this is a very important question. All right.
Yeah.
Just okay. Fine. Fine. I think that's okay. Then okay. So let's say we have lookup relationship. All right. And we want to
Mm.
count the number of child records for a parent record. Then how can we do it?
With the help of trigger
Hmm.
or Apex code, we can do that.
Can you explain?
Um, code.
Not the code. Just tell me how to do it. First, tell me you will writing the trigger on which object, parent object or child object. We need to
Parent
count.
object.
No,
We
you
need
are wrong.
yeah, question. Okay. What is the question? Tell me. Like we
The
have to
question
count
is
the
the child
yeah,
records for a parent record.
child records for parent. No.
Hmm.
Okay. So we will have it on child. We will create a trigger on child,
Okay.
and
That should be before insert or before context or after context.
child record for parent means the parent, when the parent is created, child will get created. This only this is the scene scenario, right?
Whenever the child is if some child record is created for a
Hmm.
parent, then the child
Hmm.
count will be incremented by 1, right? If a
Hmm.
child record is deleted under a parent, then the count of the child will be decremented by 1, correct?
Yes.
So it will be after context or it will be before context.
After.
Okay.
So
All right.
after inserting and after deleting here. Like
Yeah. Okay. So what will be your
okay.
approach? You will be using, there are three approaches. One is you can use nested for, you can use a map, or you can
Okay.
use the aggregate SQL query.
Okay.
So which option you want to use here?
Map.
Okay. And if you use the nested for, then is it fine to do that or it will have some impact?
We
Or,
have to check the yeah.
uh,
Sorry.
see, if you have a nested for, which means the complexity will be order of n square, correct?
Yes. Yes.
And for map, it will be order of n because we are not using any nested for if you use the map.
Yeah.
So that's the performance impact for
Yeah.
nested for, right?
Yes.
All right, you
Yes.
got it, right? Yeah, okay. So
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
question is number of child records
For on parent.
for a parent for
Lookup.
lookup relationship.
Yeah. So, if someone asks me like, how will you use map in a
Hmm.
trigger, then I can told them I can told them like we have used in the above code, all map.get, and then we can get
Yeah.
the account ID.
Also, you
Yeah,
can
no?
tell. Yeah. Also, you can use this example as well. The roll-up summary field implementation for lookup object. So it is actually
Okay.
the roll-up implementation for lookup object, right?
Yeah.
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 So you can tell that as well. And in the map, uh, what will be the type of the map? Can you tell me?
Type of the map means?
Let's say, what will be here? What would be the type of the map for the above
Okay.
example? Yeah.
ID.
Okay. Yeah. ID then.
Yeah. Then
Then.
object means child.
Okay. Yeah.
Child object.
Right. All right. It's okay. It's the parent object. Okay, not the child. ID of parent object you need to check,
Okay.
because
Okay.
you want to
Okay.
increment the parent object's count, right?
We have to increment the child
No, no, no.
record, no?
You want to increment the number of child records inside the parent.
Yes.
All right. So
Yes.
in the parent object, you need to increment. You need to update the field of the count.
Okay.
So that is why you need
Okay.
to use the parent object in the map. All right.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Then let's say, okay, let's say there is a scenario that we need to share some record with 100 or 200 profile users, or yeah, role users. All right. We have to share a record with 100 profile users. Then what,
Yes.
what is the approach to do it?
You can sharing, just a second. We can just we have to share the record with the 100, no? Then we can create a different profile for them.
No, no, no,
We
that is
can
not
create a
no,
common
no, no,
one.
no, that is not our I mean, that is not our lookout. Okay, we should not create
We
any
are
profile.
okay.
Okay. Yeah, that is not the requirement. We cannot create a new profile to meet this kind of requirement, right? So
100 users, no? Just a second. And focus separate, no? Single profile for no.
have you heard about the
Special.
have you heard about the public group?
Yes. Yes. Okay.
So
We will
you need
create a
to add 100 users, but my question is,
yeah.
are you going to add those 100 users manually to the public group?
That I don't.
Okay, there is a concept called Apex sharing.
Yes. Yes. Uh,
Yeah.
like sharing and with sharing without sharing.
No, 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 no. It's Apex sharing.
So
It's not with sharing and without sharing. That's a different thing. All right. It's Apex
okay.
sharing.
Okay. 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 Got it.
Just explore the Apex sharing. So what is Apex sharing? You just query the 100 users you need and just add it with the public group.
Okay. Okay.
And then the question is, what is with sharing and what is without sharing?
Okay. It's just a second. With sharing means in with sharing we use this with sharing keyword so that the the sharing rules can be considered. Like when we use Apex sharing, when we use Apex, so even if we don't have the access to the record particular object or something, still we get access when we are using
No, no, you
Apex.
are explaining in a, I mean, you're messing it up. Explain in a correct way.
Okay.
So
Okay.
first tell me which sharing will run in which context. So how many contexts are there?
which sharing will uh, which sharing will allows us to specify the sharing rules for the current user.
Yeah, with sharing, the sharing settings and all profile permissions, everything will be enforced.
Enforce, yeah, yeah. And without
And
sharing,
it is
it
not
will not
enforced. So what about if we do not mention anything?
it will not enforce.
So what is
Yes.
that called? I mean, are you sure it is not enforced if you do not
Yes.
mention anything?
It's system mode. System mode?
Are you
Like
guessing?
no, I'm not
Yeah.
guessing.
Okay. So yeah, it's a system mode. User means the what is the answer, right? So user mode means every user permissions sharing settings will be enforced there. That is why it is user mode. All right.
Okay. Mm,
And system
okay.
mode means by default it will be without sharing.
Okay.
Can you tell me a use
Okay.
case of this? Use
Use
case of
case of
use case of without sharing. Let's say we have an Apex class written and some profile
yes,
user do not have the access to that Apex class. All right. And in that
yes,
Apex
yeah.
class, we have written some DML operation like insert update. All right.
Okay.
He doesn't have the access to Apex class, but whenever the records will be inserted or updated, right? So those records
Hmm.
should be viewed by that user. All right. You got the
Hmm.
requirement, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
So how can we ensure that?
So we will use without sharing class because we don't want to enforce the sharing rules now because the user should able to see the records.
Correct. All right. So that should be without sharing, but if you do not mention without sharing, then also it will work that way.
Yes, yes, yes.
Right. Okay. Okay. All right. Let's say we have a class with sharing, hmm? And there is a
Hmm.
child class without sharing. We call
Okay.
the child class from the parent class. Now tell me what will be the context of the child class, with sharing or without sharing?
Context of which class?
Child.
Child class, huh?
Hmm.
Child class will not be enforced sharing
No, no,
rules.
tell me parent class is with sharing, child class is without sharing. We call the child from the
Yes.
parent. So now the child class will be with sharing or without sharing?
Sorry, but repeat again. I will write it. It's confusing. Parent without sharing, with sharing. Okay. Then
Yeah.
child is without sharing, and we are calling it child from parent. So child will be without only. Hmm?
Why?
Because sharing rule of child will not be enforced. Why?
All right. Okay.
Hmm.
I will leave it to you. Check it, explore, and let me know tomorrow.
Okay. And okay. Okay, I will search it online.
Yeah. It's a very important question as well.
Okay. Okay.
All right. Let's say we have this code. Okay. Let's say we have some class.
Hmm.
Here we have some method. Let's say uh, public static method one, and we have some operation here.
Yes.
Okay. and we have here a system.debug. Method 1. Again, similarly, we have another method.
Mm.
Method 2. Here, method 2. Again, let's say we have method 3. Method 3. Let's the future. And again, we have method 4. Okay, so if we run this class in the debug, what we'll get? What will be the output of it?
Mm, method 1, method 2, method 4. It's no, but for future method, I don't have idea. Future method.
Can you tell me the output? Okay, I'm giving you some options. Okay.
Yeah. Method 1, method 2, method 4. It will like we can see the method 1, method 2, method 4 as debug, but I'm not sure about I don't have any idea about future method, but
Apply
it
your
should
common
print.
sense.
Yeah, it's 1, 2, 3, 4.
This is your option 1.
Yeah, option 1 only.
Okay, let's check out
Okay,
the other options as well.
other options. Yeah, it's void.
Okay, now tell me which can be the option.
1.
No, it's option 3 because it's a future method, right? And future
Yes.
method is asynchronous apex, and we do not know when it will finish,
Okay. Okay.
right? So
Okay.
option will be 3.
1 to 1, 3. Oh, yeah, 1 to 4. Different. Okay.
All right. All right. So, okay. I think we are done. I think
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
if you follow it,
Okay.
I believe you can handle any question.
Yeah. Yeah. The interview is for principal. So, do you have any idea about that?
Hold
Principal
on. Just
global.
let me stop the recording.